Moore yet again. They had a good game against the Broncos, and they built upon it phenomenally. Justin Fields is throwing for 282 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. DJ Moore having a crazy game, 8 catches, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like, what a performance. That trade is really paying off for them. And then on the Commander side, you have Sam Howell throwing for quite a bit, 388 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. But they just were not able to keep up against this Bears team, as weird as it sounds. And the primary point of concern for the Commanders is their inability to rush the ball in this game. Now, the Bears' D-line is not supposed to be that good, but Washington amassed only 29 rushing yards to the Bears' 178. So, you gotta clean up the turnovers, you gotta run the ball. The Commanders started out the season pretty well, but allowing 5 sacks to the Bears, who are pretty bad as a defensive line this year thus far, a bit of a concern. So, Washington will hopefully bounce back in the future. And the Bears, maybe Justin Fields isn't that bad. Early on, there were a lot of issues, a lot of concerns. Maybe tanking for Caleb Williams, and maybe Fields is their guy. After that, you've got the Jaguars and the Bills playing in London. The Jaguars winning that game 25-20. I believe this is the second time in the Josh Allen matchup that the Josh Allen of the Jaguars has gotten the best of the Josh Allen of the Bills. In this game, Trevor Lawrence throwing for 315 and 1 touchdown. Really, the spotlight goes to Travis Etienne Jr., who had 136 for 136 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns, and another 4 catches for 48 yards. On the Bills side, pretty good game actually. Josh Allen, 359 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Another great game from Stephon Diggs, 8 catches, 121, and 1 touchdown. So, when you look into it, this is not yet another game where it's the ground game that decided who won. The Jaguars rushed. I'm sorry about that. I don't really know. I'm in a random classroom. I don't know what that noise is. But the Jaguars rushed for 196 yards to the Bills' 29. So even though the Bills had a lot more yards per play, they just could not rush the ball, and that was very limiting for them. What's interesting about this game is the turnover battle was even, and Jacksonville actually lost the sack battle 5-0, and yet the Bills were not able to take advantage. They only had the ball for 21 minutes in this game. So, yeah, go Jags, good on them, taking down an AFC beast. After that, you've got the worst game. The Saints absolutely demolishing the Patriots 34-0. The Saints, they're still in the running for their division. I didn't think they looked that good, but they definitely looked great on Sunday. The Patriots, on the other hand, this team sucks. It's like, I am a Patriots fan, and this is definitely the lowest of our lows. Even the Cam Newton year wasn't this bad, man. Mac Jones, another abysmal day. He had another pick 6. He finished with 110 yards and 2 interceptions. They threw Bailey Zappe in. He couldn't do anything. Ramondre, the Patriots can't run the ball this year. They finished with 45 rushing yards to the Saints 136, and the Saints have sucked rushing the ball all year. So, really, it's not even that the Saints played amazing. It was the Patriots played so bad. Losing the turnover battle 3-0, losing. They didn't lose the sack battle, but jeez, just a 34-point shutout. This is bad look. The Patriots have to it's time to accept that it's not working. Get a new quarterback, get a new everything, man. Good job to the Saints. Did anyone do well? Yeah, Kamara had a decent game. I don't want to talk about the Saints, to be honest. Moving on, you had the Titans losing to the Colts 16-23. This is a game where I believe Anthony Richardson got hurt yet again. Yeah, so Gardner Minshew checked in. Neither of them threw for touchdowns, but Zach Moss had a big day, even though it was Jonathan Taylor's return game. He just signed a big contract, he came back, and yet Zach Moss had 23 carries, 165 yards, and 2 touchdowns. so kind of puzzling. And on the other side of it, you have Ryan Tannehill at 264 yards and an interception. Derrick Henry having a very inefficient day, 13 carries for 43 yards. And D-Hop had a rather nice game, 8 catches for 140, but it wasn't enough. In this game, 193 yards rushing from the Colts, which really helps when you have your quarterback go down. They didn't turn the ball over at all, whereas the Titans turned it over once, and that's pretty much what it came down to. This game is finished one score, and it was 1 point game going into fourth quarter, so it was anyone's, and the Colts just came away with it. After that, you have the Ravens losing to the Steelers 10-17. I'm very confused on how this happened, because the Ravens were up. They were up 10-0, and then they just stopped. They didn't do anything after that. That too, their field goal, they went up 10-0. It seems like they were at like the 5-yard line or something like that. They really should have scored another touchdown, and they didn't. So good job to the Steelers coming back. I think they might have the division lead right now, which is unbelievable. But not a good day from Lamar. Not a good day from anyone on the Ravens, I wouldn't say. And Kenny Pickett, he was good enough, 224 yards, 1 touchdown. And George Pickens, great day for him. 6 catches, 130 yards, 1 touchdown. And yeah, three turnovers from the Ravens to the Steelers, 1, and they allowed 1 more sack. So I don't know what's going on in Baltimore. How are you losing to the Steelers and the Colts, but them beating better teams? Maybe they've had an easy schedule. I don't know. Go figure. After that, you have the Panthers losing to the Lions 24-42. Pretty good game from Bryce Young, 247 yards and 3 touchdowns, but also 2 interceptions. And then Adam Thielen popped off for 11 catches, 107 yards, and 1 touchdown. On the opposing side, you've got Jared Goff throwing for 236 yards and 3 touchdowns, which is pretty nice. The Lions came out big in this game. They were leading the entire time through, so, there's no chance. Panthers were constantly playing for behind. They couldn't get the rush established as much as they wanted. And yet, the turnovers, 3 turnovers from the Panthers, that's not going to help you. Even though they did win the sack battle. So, Panthers stay winless at 0-5, but they're inching forward. They're getting better week by week. And the Lions look pretty mighty strong, 4-1, which is one of the best records in the NFL right now. This could be their year. Not to win the Super Bowl, but to win their division. After that, you have the Falcons beating the Texans 21-19. Desmond Ridder stays undefeated at home in his high school, college, and NFL career. He has never lost at home. The Texans, they really lost this game at the finishing line. The Falcons scored 14 of their 21 points in the last quarter, so the Texans were playing with the lead for most of the game. C.J. Stroud broke the record for most consecutive pass attempts to start a career without an interception, so very good job to him. But yeah, in terms of production, nothing very flashy on either side. You've got the Falcons dominating in all of the major statistical categories. Neither team allowed a sack, and the Falcons actually lost 2 fumbles, so it's very peculiar that they were able to win this game. But yeah, they managed, they pulled through. Falcons are kind of sneaky good, and honestly the Texans are too. Neither of these teams are as bad as I thought they would be, so hard-fought battle, barely lost. Texans, I'm not too mad, and Falcons, I'm glad I got a victory. My voice is so tired, man. After that, you've got the Dolphins beating the Giants by a good amount, beating them 31-16. Great game from Devon Achane, yet again. 11 carries for 151 yards and a touchdown. This guy is just a monster. He is so fast. Great game from Tyreek Hill as well. 8 catches, 181 yards, and 1 touchdown. Tua 308 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, which isn't the best. And on the Giants, no. I guess you have a Darren Waller breakout game with 8 catches for 86 yards, but nothing that spectacular. The Dolphins ended up finishing with 524 yards of offense. And even though they badly lost the turnover battle 3-0, the Giants offense just could not keep up. So the Dolphins stay rolling. They look pretty good every week except for last week. Definitely now they're at the top of the AFC East with the Bills lost. And the Giants, they do not look like themselves. They were so much better last year, and they are just lost and confused right now. Moving on, you have the Bengals beating the Cardinals 34-20. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase finally decided to wake up. There was a little bit of tension after last game, and I don't think that's the case anymore. Jamar Chase finishing with 15 catches for 192 yards and 3 touchdowns. Monster game from him. Joe Burrow had his first really good game of the season. 317 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Then on the Cardinals side, you have 161 yards passing from Josh Dobbs with 2 touchdowns, but also 2 interceptions. And then just looking at the overall game, even though the Cardinals had the edge in rushing the ball, the Bengals definitely had the edge in passing. And so total yards goes to the Bengals. And it came down to a turnover battle. The Cardinals having 3 turnovers, the Bengals only having 1. They maintained a lot of time of possession. The Bengals did, and Jamar Chase was just going crazy. So big win for the Bengals. They stay fighting in this AFC North division. And for the Cardinals, tough luck, tough sledding, After that, you have the Rams and Eagles facing off, with the Eagles getting the victory 23-14. This was a 1-point game heading into the 4th quarter, so very close to anyone's game, basically. Am I doing my math right? No, not at all. It was a 3-point game. Sorry. And Jalen Hurts finishes with 303 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. A.J. Brown, yet another great game, 6 catches for 127 yards. This was Cooper Kupp's return game, and he returned with a lot of pizzazz. 8 catches for 118 yards. And Matthew Stafford, 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. A lot of 2s. Looking at the team stats, you'll notice that rushing the ball was the biggest discrepancy here. Eagles finishing with 159 yards rushing, whereas the Rams only had 54. Big day from Jalen Carter. He got, I think, 2 sacks on his own. And so, the Rams allowed 4 sacks to the Eagles 1. And even though the Eagles had 1 turnover to the Rams 0, they dominated with that rushing attack, holding the ball for 37, almost 38 minutes of this game. So if you can eat up the clock like that, you can definitely limit your opponents. Next up, you have the Jets beating the Broncos. Nathaniel Hackett revenge game. Honestly, the Broncos down bad. I really thought they'd turn it around, and boy was I wrong. Zach Wilson, bad game. I'm saying bad game because I had him in fantasy. I was trying to replace Justin Herbert. I don't know. Should have made better choices. He finished with 199 yards and an interception, so nothing that nice. Brees Hall had an amazing game though. 177 yards on 22 carries and 8 touchdowns. So he's no longer seeing his snaps limited, back to full strength, and he dominated. The Broncos, on the other hand, Wilson had an okay game, 196 yards and 2 touchdowns. Looking at the team stats, you'll see that both teams allowed 4 sacks, and the Broncos just barely lost the turnover battle with 3-2. I have no idea. I mean, good win for the Jets. They looked better. They almost beat the Chiefs, and now they get their victory. The Broncos, if I'm a Broncos fan, I am immensely sad. There's nothing to be happy about for this team. Well, actually, I'm a Patriots fan, so I'm also immensely sad. Their team is on arguably the exact same as ours, so whatever. After that, you have the Chiefs and the Vikings facing off. The Chiefs getting the victory 27-20 in this game. You have Mahomes throwing for 281 yards and 2 touchdowns. Travis Kelce finishing with 10 catches for 67 yards and a touchdown. Big point of emphasis in this game is a Justin Jefferson injury. He finished with his worst performance of the season, obviously, because he got injured, and he might be heading to the injured reserve. Yeah, his final line was 3 catches for 28 yards. Despite that, the Vikings actually had a pretty good day on offense. They matched the Chiefs in just about everything, and it really came down to a lost fumble and settling for field goals. You know, their offense was able to move the ball fairly well in this game. They just didn't execute when it mattered. And yeah, I want to say, Greg Joseph, 29-yard field goal. 29-yard means you were in the red zone and you settled. So gotta accomplish that. Obviously short-handed without Jay Jettis, but hopefully he'll be able to recover from that injury, and the Vikings will be able to win more games. Right now, they sit at a measly 1-4, not the best. After that, you've got the Cowboys getting absolutely destroyed by the 49ers. The 49ers had been scoring 30s every game, and they graduated to 40s, winning 42-10. Unbelievable. Dak Prescott had a 3-interception game. Very bad performance from him. The Cowboys also lost a fumble, so they end up losing the turnover battle 4-1. They also allowed 4 sacks to the 49ers, 1 sack. The Niners dominated in every offensive statistical way, and you had great games from certain Niners. Brock Purdy, 252 yards and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Then you've got George Kittle finishing with 3 catches for 67 yards and 3 touchdowns. And so yeah, very big game from the Niners. I think this is definitely like the strongest team in the NFL. Rather obvious statement, but I think between the Eagles and the Niners, it's up for grabs. It's their years. Honestly, I think it could be finally the year the Niners put it together and win it all, but injury dependent, so hopefully they can stay healthy. And the last game of this week was Packers versus Raiders. Yet another 3-interception game, but this time from Jordan Love. Not a stinker, basically. Jimmy Garoppolo, his usual stat line, 208 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But when the opposing quarterback is playing that bad, you can win a couple games. So, yeah, the Raiders escape with a victory. Both teams sitting at 2-3 now. Offensively, this game was about even, but the 3 interceptions to the 1 was the deciding factor. So there you have it. That is week 5 of the NFL. Sorry if that was rather lacking in analysis. I'm kind of in a time crunch. It's been difficult finding places to record on campus just because like every study room, even if you book it, it has people in it. So yeah, I will try and figure that out better. You'll notice the background is different all the time, just because I'm in random classrooms and random study spaces. So I'll figure out what I'm gonna do about that. I also didn't have any content over the weekend because I went to a Joji concert on Friday, and so I was a little behind on work. After that, I had to play a bit of catch up, but the concert was very nice. I had a lot of fun. He's a very funny and entertaining artist. I will say his vocals maybe not the best in person, but if you know the songs, it's a great time. So yeah, had a lot of fun. If you enjoy content like this, feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. I'll be putting out more videos